Hello students, I am Tara Jayant, Associate Professor, Department of Zoology, Government PG College for Women, Panchkula. The topic I have taken is type study of Amphioxus, also known as Branchiostoma, Part 1. In this lecture, we are going to study some of the systems of this animal. This topic is from class BSc second year, third semester. Systematic position. एम्फियोक्सिस बिलोंग्स टू फाइलम कॉर्डेटा. कॉर्डेटा का मतलब है वो एनिमल्स जिनमें नोटोकॉर्ड प्रेजेंट होती है, एंड नोटोकॉर्ड इज वन ऑफ द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट डायग्नोस्टिक कैरेक्टर ऑफ दिस एनिमल्स. सब फाइलम इज सिफेलोकॉर्डेटा. सिफेलोकॉर्डेटा का मीनिंग है द एनिमल्स इन विच द नोटोकॉर्ड एक्सटेंड्स along the entire length of the body of the animal. Like in Amphioxus, it extends from head to tail region. Class is Leptocardi, that is, the body of the animal is laterally compressed in fish-like manner. Order is Amphioxiformis and genus is Amphioxus. Introduction. Amphioxus is commonly called as lancelet or lancet. In the diagram given above, we can see that the body of this animal is very thin, laterally compressed, cylindrical and pointed at both the ends just like a needle. So because the shape of this animal is like a needle, that is why it is given the name lancelet or lancet. It was discovered by the scientist Pallas in 1778. He considered it as a mollusk and named it as Limex lanceolatus. But later on, an Italian scientist, Costa, in 1839 named it as Branchiostoma. There are about 9 species that are reported in different oceans of the world. Habitat and habits. Amphioxus is a marine animal, यानी ये एनिमल ओशनिक वाटर में रहता है, and it is commonly found in shallow waters. That means the waters which are not very deep. It is fossorial animal. Fossorial का मतलब है जिसकी burrowing habit होती है. So it remains buried in the sand in upright position, जैसा कि हमने इस डायग्राम में देखा है. At night, it leaves the burrows and swims actively by lateral undulations of the body. लेटरल अंडुलेशंस एक तरह की वेवी मूवमेंट्स होती हैं बॉडी की, तो इनकी हेल्प से ये वाटर में एक्टिवली स्विम कर सकता है. इट इज़ ए सीलरी फीडर. सीलरी फीडिंग इज ऑल्सो नोन एज फिल्टर फीडिंग. दैट मीन्स एम्फियोक्सिस obtains its food from the water with the help of beating of its cilia. सीलियारी बीटिंग के थ्रू जो फूड पार्टिकल्स वाटर में प्रेजेंट होते हैं वो फिल्टर होके इसकी बॉडी में एंटर करते हैं, और वो बहुत छोटे फूड पार्टिकल्स हैं. दैट इज़ दे आर वेरी स्मॉल माइक्रो ऑर्गेनिजम्स विच कीप ऑन फ्लोटिंग ऑन द surface of water. They are planktons, just like very small diatoms or small sized protozoans. Sexes are separate. That means male and female individual are separate. Fertilization is external. That means the fertilization takes place outside the body of animal. Development is indirect. इसका मतलब है कि इस एनिमल की लाइफ हिस्ट्री में एक फ्री स्विमिंग लार्वल स्टेज प्रेजेंट होती है, एंड दिस लार्वा चेंजेस इनटू एडल्ट इन अबाउट 3 months. External morphology. As we can see in this diagram, the shape of the animal is laterally compressed and spindle-like. Both the ends of its body are pointed and lance-like. So, as I told you, it is named as lancelet because of the shape of its body. Color of the body is transparent and whitish. Length of the body varies from 4.5 to 7 centimeter. Anterior end of the body is called rostrum. It is adapted for burrowing and swimming. Divisions of the body. The body of Amphioxus is divided into two main regions, that is trunk and tail. True head is absent in this animal. The head having proper sense organs is not found in this animal. Apertures. In the body of Amphioxus, there are three main apertures: mouth, atriopore, and anus. Appendages. Again, there are three main appendages, three median fins. All these fins are visible in the diagram given below. These are dorsal, ventral, and caudal fins. Next structure is metapleural folds. Two thin membranous folds hanging from ventrolateral margins are called metapleural folds. These folds are connected by body wall on the ventral surface called epipleure. The side or the ventral side on which these structures, metapleural folds, are attached is called as the epipleure. These are free on lateral edges of oral hood, but they unite posteriorly. Next structure is myotomes. They are present on the lateral side in a series of V-shaped structures. Actually, they are muscle bands which are present on the lateral sides. Gonads. They extend from mouth to atriopore below the myotomes. Body wall. Body wall of Amphioxus is formed of three main parts, that is skin, musculature, and peritoneum. Now we discuss them one by one. First is skin. Skin is further consists of two parts. The outer one is called epidermis and inner one is called dermis. Epidermis is single layer of columnar cells. In young animal, this epidermis is ciliated, but it is lost and replaced by cuticle in adult animal. Dermis. It is mainly made up of connective tissue. The outer layer is compact and inner layer is spongy. Then musculature. It forms the main part of the body wall. It is very thick in dorsal and dorsolateral regions. It is arranged metamerically in the form of structures called myotomes, and these myotomes are separated by myocomata. All the myotomes are striated and voluntary. Peritoneum. Below the muscle, it is present in the form of patches in the pharyngeal region. स्केलेटन. एम्फियोक्सिस के एंडोस्केलेटन में कई तरह के स्ट्रक्चर्स प्रेजेंट होते हैं. फर्स्ट इज नोटोकॉर्ड. Notochord is the main component of the endoskeleton. It is elongated cylindrical rod-like structure with tapering ends from tip to the end of tail. Notochord is also known as chorda dorsalis. In the given diagram, we can see the transverse section as well as the lateral section of notochord. Notochord is formed of linear series of alternate disc-like fibrous and gelatinous plates, so it is very tough and turgid structure. It is surrounded by tough fibrous sheath called as notochordal sheath. Gelatinous rods and plates. Gelatinous rods support the gill bars of pharynx, anterior edge of oral hood and oral cirri, and plates support the endostylar floor. Fin ray boxes. These boxes support the fins. They are present in single row in the dorsal fin and in two rows in the ventral fin. Then comes dense fibrous connective tissue. It is continuous throughout the body and form a layer below the epidermis, as we have seen earlier also. It also fills the spaces between the organs to provide rigidity. Atrium. It is a large cavity in the body in addition to coelom. सीलोम एम्फियोक्सिस की बॉडी में मेन कैविटी है, लेकिन इसके अलावा एक और कैविटी भी इसमें प्रेजेंट होती है जिसको हम एट्रियम कहते हैं. इट इज फॉर्म्ड बाय जॉइनिंग ए पेयर ऑफ मेटाप्लूरल folds. In adult animal, it is present around the pharynx and intestine and open outside by the aperture called as atriopore. It may extend up to anus blindly behind the atriopore. That means the extension does not have any opening. Anteriorly, it may join the dorsal coelomic canal to form atriocoelomic canal, and gill slits open in the atrium. Digestive system. Following are the main characters of the digestive system of Amphioxus. As I have told you earlier also, Amphioxus is microphagous. That means this animal takes microorganisms as its food, and it is ciliary or filter feeder. That means the food particles from water enter into its body after filtration by the ciliary beating. Water current is maintained by ciliary beating, and ingoing water current is filtered at a number of places. Food particles move along a definite path and are trapped in the mucus to form food cord or food cylinder. जो भी फूड पार्टिकल्स वाटर करंट के साथ फिल्टर होके इसकी बॉडी में एंटर करते हैं, दे आर ट्रैप्ड इन द म्यूकस. म्यूकस की हेल्प से वो आपस में बाइंड कर जाते हैं एंड दे गेट कन्वर्टेड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ फूड कॉर्ड और फूड सिलेंडर. डाइजेशन इज पार्शली इंटरसेलुलर एंड पार्शली इंट्रासेलुलर. इसमें दोनों तरीके की डाइजेशन है, इंटरसेलुलर भी और इंट्रासेलुलर भी. One very important thing here is that intracellular digestion is unknown in other vertebrates. Larger food particles and sand particles are ejected out forcefully by maintaining a rejection current of water. जो भी large size food particles या sand particles water current के साथ एम्फियोक्सिस की बॉडी में एंटर कर जाते हैं, उनको ये अपनी बॉडी से इजेक्ट कर देता है विद द हेल्प ऑफ रिजेक्शन करंट ऑफ वाटर. Alimentary canal. Alimentary canal is straight complete tube lined by ciliated epithelium. Complete का meaning होता है the alimentary canal in which both the mouth and anus are present. And wall of the alimentary canal is lined by ciliated epithelium. Alimentary canal के further three main parts हैं, foregut, middle part and hindgut. We are going to take them one by one. First is foregut. It is ectodermal in origin, lined by cuticle and further consists of various parts. First part is mouth. Mouth is wide, oval shaped, anterior most and is dorsally covered by the structure called rostrum. It lies in the center of the oral hood. In the diagram given below, we can see the position of the oral hood and rostrum. Next structure is oral hood. It is a membranous fold present on the dorsolateral sides of the anterior and as visible in the diagram. It is supported by a ring of pieces of gelatinous rods and bears 11 pairs of stiff cylinder oral cirri or buccal cirri. Their number increases with the age of the animal. Gelatinous rods support these structures, and chemoreceptors are present on their margins. It acts as sieve or filter. It closes the mouth when needed. Next structure is buccal cavity. Buccal cavity is also called as vestibule. It is a large funnel-shaped space enclosed in the oral hood. It further consists of two parts. First part is called wheel organ or Muller's organ. Now, what is the structure of wheel organ or Muller's organ? It is formed of 6 to 8 pairs of finger-like forward directed folds formed by the folding of ciliated epithelium of buccal cavity. So, it is very clearly visible in this diagram. We can see the folds of the wheel organ. Each bear ciliated groove in the middle. Mid-dorsal fold is the largest one, and it is with a Hatschek's groove which ends in a Hatschek's pit. So we can see that the central fold is the largest one. Functions. Its cilia beat rapidly and rhythmically to create a vortex of water which is directed inward through the enterosome into the pharynx. So as I have told you that it is a ciliary feeder, so the cilia they beat to generate a water current. This structure also secretes large amount of mucus so as to trap the fine food particles and bind them. Hershey's pit present in the central fold is considered as a sensory organ. Next part of the buccal cavity is velum. It is a thin, centrally incomplete, circular ring-like vertical membrane present at the posterior end of buccal cavity. So we can see here that it is a circular ring-like structure. Central aperture of velum is called enterosome and it can be regulated by sphincter present in the wall of velum. We can see both the enterosome in the diagram and the sphincter made up of muscles. Posterior wall is fringed. There are 10 to 12 cylinder, ciliated, backward directed and sensory structures called as velar tentacles. We can see all around in the velar ring that there are 10 to 12 cylinder structures which we call as velar tentacles. These velar tentacles have chemosensory papillae and velum leads into the pharynx. Functions. The velar tentacles that we have seen, they form a strainer for further filtration of food particles. फूड की फिल्ट्रेशन के दो लेवल्स हैं. फर्स्ट लेवल इज एट द ओरल हुड विच इज़ अ फर्स्ट लेवल जहाँ पर फर्स्ट टाइम वाटर की फिल्ट्रेशन होती है, और सेकेंड लेवल है व्हीलर टेंटिकल्स जहाँ पर सेकेंड टाइम वाटर की फिल्ट्रेशन होती है ताकि जो फूड पार्टिकल्स हैं वो सेपरेट आउट हो सकें. Then it also tests the chemical nature of water current. What is the chemical nature, whether it is good or suitable or not for the animal. Middle part of alimentary canal. Middle part is endodermal in origin and not lined by the cuticle. इसके further कई parts हैं, pharynx, esophagus and intestine. First part is pharynx. It is very large, spacious and laterally compressed chamber, occupies anterior one half of the body. It remains suspended in the atrium or peribranchial cavity which surrounds it from all the sides except on the dorsal side. And it is further have following structure. The structures which are present in the pharynx are gill slits, endostyle, epipharyngeal groove and peripharyngeal bands. Now we study these structures one by one. Gill slits. The wall of pharynx is perforated with 150 to 200 narrow, oblique, vertical, slit-like apertures called as gill slits, through which pharyngeal cavity communicates with the atrial cavity. So this diagram shows the gill slits, gill bars and skeletal rods found in the pharyngeal wall of Amphioxus. So all the three structures, that is gill bars, gill rods and gill slits, they can be seen in this diagram. Gill slits bear no gills and their number increases with age on the posterior side of the pharynx. The portion of pharyngeal wall between the two adjacent gill slits is called branchial lamella or gill bar. This is the structure of the primary and secondary gill bars shown in the transverse section. A gill bar consists of a ciliated epithelial covering of ectoderm and endoderm with mesodermal core containing fibrous connective tissue, blood vessels and supporting gelatinous skeletal rods. Ciliation over the gill bars is not uniform. As we can see that cilia are present all around the gill bars, but their structure and distribution is not uniform. The outer or atrial surface is covered by thinly ciliated ectodermal epithelium. These cilia are called atrial cilia. We can see on the lower surface of these structures. Cilia covering the endodermal epithelium of anterior and posterior surface are long and dense, and they are called as lateral cilia. So we can see that on the lateral walls, the cilia, they are very dense. On the inner side of the cilia are long and they are called as frontal cilia. So on the above surface, we can see that there is a band of very long cilia. They are called as frontal cilia. The gill bars are of two types, as we can see here, primary and secondary, which alternate with each other and also differ in structure and their mode of development. The skeletal rod of a primary gill bar is called primary gill rod. Its lower free end is forked and it encloses a blood vessel and a coelomic canal throughout its length. We can see the blood vessel and coelomic canal present in the primary gill bar. Secondary gill bar develops as a small tongue bar which grows downward from dorsal wall of primary gill slit and meets with the ventral wall. In this diagram, we can see that the tongue bar arises in the center of the primary gill bar. So gradually ये जो tongue bar है ये नीचे की तरफ extend होती है और ventral wall के साथ ये merge हो जाती है. This is how secondary gill bar is formed. So the original primary slit is divided into two secondary gill slits. इस तरीके से secondary gill bar की origin की वजह से जो primary gill slit है वो two secondary gill slits में divide हो जाती है. Its terminal ventral end is simple, that is, it is unforked. It encloses blood vessels but no coelomic canal. All the gill bars are interconnected by the transverse bars or synapticula. So because of this, there is basket-like appearance of the pharynx. Synapticula also bears a blood vessel and a skeletal rod. Then comes the next structure, endostyle. A hypobranchial tract or an endostyle extends mid-ventrally along the entire floor of the pharynx. So in this diagram, we can see the transverse section of the endostyle. Actually, it is a structure which is present along the floor of the pharynx. Now, what are the features of the endostyle? It forms a shallow groove with 4 longitudinal tracts of mucus secreting glands alternating with 5 ciliary tracts. So we can see here the mucus secreting gland cells as well as the ciliary tracts. Cilia of the middle tract is longest. जो median cilia है, जो median band है cilia का, that is the longest band. It is supported by 2 gelatinous skeletal plates under which is present the subendostylar coelomic canal containing the ventral aorta. So we can clearly see the ventral aorta in the above diagram. Dorsal lamina or hyperpharyngeal band. It is a prominent ciliated groove present mid-dorsally along the roof of the pharynx. ये structure pharynx की roof की तरफ present होता है along the mid-dorsal line. Anteriorly, it is continuous with the peripharyngeal bands and posteriorly extends up to the esophageal opening. The cilia beat backward and send the food particles to the esophagus. Then comes the peripharyngeal groove. These are a pair of narrow ciliated tracts arising from the anterior end of the endostyle. They run obliquely upward and backward, one along the either lateral sides of the pharynx to unite dorsally with anterior end of the epipharyngeal groove. These bands divide the pharynx into anterior smaller prebranchial zone and posterior larger branchial basket with gill slits. तो इस स्ट्रक्चर की वजह से पेरिफेरेंजियल ग्रूव की वजह से pharynx दो पार्ट्स में डिवाइड हो जाता है. The smaller one is prebranchial zone and the posterior large part called as the branchial basket. That diagram we have seen in the previous slide. So it is having gill slits. Next part of the alimentary canal is esophagus. Now, after pharynx, the next part is esophagus, which is very short and narrow tubular part. As we have seen, pharynx is the largest part of the alimentary canal. On the other hand, esophagus is very short in this animal and it is a very narrow tubular structure. It is having ciliated internal lining and it opens into the intestine. Next part is intestine. It is as long as the pharynx and suspended from the dorsal body wall by a structure called dorsal mesentery into the atrial cavity. It is covered by a thin layer of smooth muscles and internally lined with several ciliated tracts. So intestine की जो internal lining है that is also ciliated. Intestine is further divided into three parts: anterior wider part or midgut, large blind pouch or diverticulum, posterior part with ileocolic ring. So this is the diagram showing the alimentary canal in lateral view. The lining of midgut on lateral side bears a lateral ciliary tract. Its cilia beat downwards, directing food into the diverticulum. Diverticulum arises as a blind pouch from the ventral junction of esophagus and midgut and extends forward into the atrial cavity on the right side of the pharynx up to 1/3 of its length. ये जो मिडगट डाइवर्टिकुलम है ये एक ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर है जो ईसोफेगस से अराइज होता है और ये फॉरवर्ड डायरेक्शन में यानी आगे की तरफ फेरिंग्स के राइट साइड में ये एक्सटेंड करता है एंड इट कवर्स अबाउट 1/3 of the length of the pharynx. It is surrounded by a narrow coelomic cavity. It has ciliated groove on the roof and floor. Cilia of the roof beat forward and those of the floor beat backward. So they beat in opposite directions. Cilia of lateral walls are small and their beat is weak. Hindgut. It is the last part of the alimentary canal and it is ectodermal in origin. Its tubular narrow part is known as rectum. It is heavily ciliated internally and stores the feces temporarily and open outside by the opening called anus. Anus is a small aperture controlled by sphincter. So it is the aperture by which the fecal material is passed outside the body of the animal. It opens at the base of caudal fin on the left side of the midventral line. Digestive glands. The midgut diverticulum is also referred to as the liver as it is the main digestive gland in this animal. Its zymogen cells secrete a number of digestive enzymes which are used for the digestion of different components of the food. Epithelial lining of intestine also contains numerous glands that secrete digestive enzymes. Physiology of digestion. Food. Branchiostoma is omnivorous animal. It is microphagous, holozoic and planktonic feeder. As I have told earlier also that Branchiostoma or Amphioxus takes microorganisms as its food. They are planktonic organisms which keep on floating on the surface of water. They include small organisms like diatoms and small protozoans. Then comes feeding mechanism. First of all, ingestion. Pharynx plays an important role in ingestion. Outward and metachronous beating of lateral cilia of gill bars maintain a respiratory cum nutritive water current. It is aided by the beating of atrial cilia of atrial epithelium of gill bars. The path taken by the water current is shown below. It enters through the mouth, then it goes into the buccal cavity, enterosome, pharynx, gill slits, atrium, then atriopore, and finally it leads outside. Filtering occurs at two places. First is oral cirri. Oral cirri move inward, cross one another over mouth and form a sort of strainer. So this is the first level where the filtration of food particles from the water takes place. Second is velar tentacles of velum which further filter it. The larger food particles in the buccal cavity are trapped in mucus of Haschek's pit, which is present in the middle projection of the wheel organ and rotated by the whirling action of wheel organ. These are masticated by finger-like processes of wheel organ. Thus, mastication or grinding of food takes place in the wheel organ. So only the fine particles enter in the pharynx through the enterosome. The chemoreceptors of oral cirri and velar tentacles test the chemical nature of incoming water current. Sand and larger food particles are expelled through the mouth, maintaining reverse water current called rejection current. जो लार्ज पार्टिकल्स फिल्ट्रेशन के प्रोसेस में इस एनिमल की बॉडी में एंटर हो जाते हैं, they are again expelled out by the animal with the help of rejection current of water. As the water enters the pharynx, its speed slows down so food particles get settled down. Glandular cells secrete abundant amount of mucus which is thrown on the lateral walls of the pharynx, and this mucus traps the food particles, binds them and converts them in the form of a food cord. This diagram shows the course of feeding. So this is the TS of pharynx and atrium part of amphioxus. In this, the frontal cilia of gill bars beat upwards to send the food-laden mucus sheets dorsally in the epipharyngeal groove of dorsal lamina. We can see the direction of the arrows. A number of mucus current reach the epipharyngeal groove and join to form a mucus cord. Cilia of epipharyngeal groove beat backwards and send the food-laden mucus cord to the esophagus. In the esophagus, cilia beat backwards and move the food to the midgut. Now after esophagus, the food will enter into the midgut part of the alimentary canal. In midgut, cilia of lateral tract beat downwards and send the food cum mucus cord to the midgut diverticulum, in which food first moves forward along its dorsal wall and then backward along its ventral wall, and finally it again enters the midgut, that is the intestine. In the ileocolic region, food cord is rotated by opposite beating of cilia of its right and left walls. Now because of this, following things takes place. Period of digestion of food is increased as it increases the period of stay of food in the intestine. फूड को इंटेस्टाइन में स्टे करने के लिए ज़्यादा टाइम मिलता है, जिसकी वजह से जो डाइजेशन टाइम है फूड का वो इंक्रीज हो जाता है. देयर इज़ प्रॉपर मिक्सिंग ऑफ फूड एंड डाइजेस्टिव जूसेस, फूड इज चर्न एंड फाइनली द फूड एंटर्स इन द हाइंड गट पार्ट. Digestion. In amphioxus, digestion takes place in two ways. It is partly extracellular and partly intracellular. In extracellular digestion, the glandular cells of midgut, midgut diverticulum, and even hindgut secrete digestive juices which are mixed with food by ciliary action. These digestive juices contains following enzymes. These enzymes are meant for the digestion of different type of food components. First type is amylases. They are meant for the digestion of carbohydrates. So they hydrolyze starches and sugars. Second is lipases. They hydrolyze fats to glycerol and fatty acids. Third is proteases. They are meant for digestion of proteins. So they hydrolyze proteins into amino acids. Intracellular digestion. Semi-digested food is engulfed by the epithelial cells of midgut diverticulum and even hindgut to digest it inside the cells. फूड के जो कंपोनेंट अभी भी अनडाइजेस्टेड रह जाते हैं वो मिडगट डाइवर्टिकुलम और हाइंड गट के एपिथेलियल सेल्स में एंटर कर जाते हैं और वहाँ पर उनकी फर्दर डाइजेशन कंप्लीट हो जाती है. Next part is absorption. Simple diffusible food components pass through the wall of gut into blood. डाइजेशन के प्रोसेस में जो कम्प्लेक्स फूड कंपोनेंट्स सिंपलर फॉर्म में कन्वर्ट होते हैं वो एब्जॉर्प्शन के प्रोसेस से ब्लड में एंटर करते हैं और दिस प्रोसेस takes place with the help of simple diffusion. It mainly occurs in the hindgut region, though some absorption also occurs through midgut diverticulum region. Last part of the physiology of digestion is egestion or defecation. It involves the expelling of the fecal matter out of the body. डाइजेशन और एब्जॉर्प्शन के प्रोसेस के बाद जो अनडाइजेस्टेड या वेस्ट फूड मटेरियल एनिमल की बॉडी में रह जाता है दैट इज एक्सपेल्ड आउट बाय द प्रोसेस ऑफ इजेशन. इट अकर्स थ्रू द एपर्चर कॉल्ड एनस by outward beating of densely ciliated epithelium of rectum. So this is how the physiology of digestion is completed. In today's lecture, we have studied the introduction, systematic position, habit and habitats, body wall, skeletal structures, and digestive system of Amphioxus. So this is all with today's topic. Thank you.